Shocking family secret exposed. Sonny discovers Jacinda is his daughter. A twist nobody saw coming rocks Port Charles as Sonny grapples with devastating truth. The glamorous streets of Port Charles have witnessed many shocking revelations, but few could have prepared Sonny Corinthos for the life-altering truth that would change everything he thought he knew. When Sonny's suspicions about his son, Michael's mysterious girlfriend, Jacinda Bracken, led him down an unexpected path. He stumbled upon a secret so profound that it would shake the very foundations of his world. In a moment of pure devastation, Sonny learned that the woman his son had been seeing was not just any woman. She was his own daughter. A father's concerns began. The first cracks in Michael's seemingly innocent relationship with Jacinda appeared when Sonny observed the couple together at the Metro Court restaurant. As a man who has built an empire through reading people and understanding the undercurrents of Port Charles society, Sonny's instincts immediately told him something was off. Jacinda, though undeniably beautiful and charming, carried a reputation around the city that Sonny could not ignore. She was known in certain circles as an escort woman who made her living through companionship and intimate arrangements with wealthy clients. For Sonny, this was more than just casual disapproval of his son's dating choices. This was about Michael's safety and integrity. The mob boss had always been protective of his family, and the idea that Michael might be entangled with someone of Jacinda's profession sparked immediate concern. Sonny's mind raced with troubling possibilities. Was she genuinely interested in Michael? Or was she simply using him for financial gain? Or some other hidden agenda? In a world where people are rarely what they seem, Sonny's caution seemed not only justified, but necessary. The investigation begins. Unable to shake his aim, Sonny made a decision that came naturally to him. He would investigate Jacinda himself. What Sonny discovered during his inquiries only deepened his suspicions and reinforced his belief that his son was being manipulated. Every piece of information he uncovered painted a picture of a woman whose primary allegiance was to financial security and material comfort, not to genuine emotional connection. Sonny's protective instincts shifted into overdrive, and he determined that he needed to have a serious conversation with Michael about this relationship. But before Sonny could confront his son directly, his investigation took an extraordinary turn. Through his search for information about Jacinda's background and connections, Sonny unearthed something that stopped him cold. The details led him to a name he had not heard in years. A name that transported him back through the decades to a time in his life that felt like a distant dream. Jacinda was connected to someone from Sonny's past. Someone significant, someone unforgettable. Jacinda Bracken was the daughter of Brenda Barrett, a face from the past. Brenda, the name alone sent a wave of complex emotions through Sonny's chest. Brenda Barrett had been one of the most important people in his life, a woman who had captured his heart in ways few others ever could. Their relationship had been passionate, complicated, and ultimately tragic in its conclusion. The years had passed, and while life in Port Charles had moved forward, the memories of Brenda had never truly faded from Sonny's mind. The realization that Brenda had a daughter who was now involved with Michael forced Sonny to take action. He needed to see Brenda. He needed answers. The next time Sonny encountered her, he approached the conversation with a mixture of vulnerability and urgency that surprised even himself. "Brenda, we need to talk," Sonny said, his voice carrying the weight of years of unspoken history. "It's about Jacinda, your daughter. She's been seeing Michael." Brenda's expression shifted as she listened to what Sonny had to say. The mob boss explained his concerns. His investigation, his growing understanding that there were deeper connections at play than anyone had realized. He laid out his fears about Michael's safety and his questions about Jacinda's true motivations. But as Sonny spoke, Brenda's face transformed. What had been polite attention suddenly became something far more complex, something that looked like sadness mixed with resignation and perhaps even a touch of fear about what was to come. The truth. That changed everything. When Brenda finally spoke, her words came slowly, deliberately, as if she had been carrying this secret for far longer than Sonny could have imagined. What she revealed would alter the entire trajectory of multiple lives in Port Charles. Sonny, Brenda began, her voice trembling slightly. There's something you need to know about Jacinda. Something I've never told you. Jacinda. She's not just my daughter. She's our daughter. She's your daughter, Sonny. The words hung in the air between them like a physical force. Sonny felt as though the ground beneath him had shifted, as though reality itself had tilted at an impossible angle. His mind struggled to process the information. A daughter. He had a daughter with Brenda. How was this possible? How had he lived all these years without knowing? Questions cascaded through his mind in rapid succession. When had this happened? Why had Brendan never told him? How could such a significant truth have remained hidden for so long? The implications of this revelation extended far beyond the shocking nature of the secret itself. Michael had been getting involved with Sonny's own daughter. The young couple had been spending time together, going on dates, developing what appeared to be genuine romantic feelings, all while completely unaware of their true connection. A man adrift. In uncertainty. For the first time in years, Sonny found himself truly uncertain about how to proceed. As the head of a powerful criminal organization, he had made countless difficult decisions. He had navigated treacherous business dealings, managed complex family dynamics, and emerged from dangerous situations through sheer force of will and strategic thinking. But this was different. This was personal in ways that went beyond even his most intimate challenges. Sonny's immediate concern was Michael. How would his son react to learning that the woman he had been seeing was actually his half-sister? The emotional trauma of such a revelation could not be overstated. Beyond Michael's personal distress, there were also the practical concerns. Michael had been using Jacinda as an alibi, presenting her as his girlfriend to help establish his whereabouts during a critical time. The deception inherent in this arrangement, combined with the revelation of their actual biological connection, threatened to unravel everything Michael had been carefully constructing. Then there was Jacinda herself. Did she know the truth about her parentage? Had Brenda told her daughter who her father was? Sonny realized that Jacinda might be as much a victim of this situation as anyone else. She had grown up without knowing her true father. And now she faced the shocking discovery that the man who had been investigating her, judging her, was actually the man who had given her life. As Sonny grappled with this overwhelming reality, he found himself paralyzed by the weight of it all. The mob boss, accustomed to taking decisive action and controlling situations around him, found himself utterly lost in this moment. He needed time to think, to process, and perhaps most importantly, to figure out how to tell Michael the truth without destroying his son in the process. The comfortable world of Port Charles that Sonny had known, the one where family relationships were clearly defined and the past seemed safely contained within memory, had suddenly become complicated and alien. And as Sonny sat with this knowledge, one truth became undeniable. Nothing in his family's life would ever be quite the same. Next, we will learn about the escalating family tensions in Port Charles as Dante Falconeri grapples with a heartbreaking decision regarding his sons. In the shadowy undercurrents of General Hospital's latest drama, Dies, protective instincts are pushing him toward an unprecedented boundary, potentially barring his elder son, Giovanni Joe Palmieri, from any further contact with his younger brother, Rocco Falconieri. This isn't just a fleeting argument. It's a seismic shift that could fracture the fragile bonds within the Falconer family, leaving fans on the edge of their seats as loyalties clash and consequences unfold in unexpected ways. As the story intensifies during the week of November to St, viewers are witnessing how past oversights and new missteps are colliding, forcing Dante to confront the harsh realities of fatherhood in a town rife with secrets and surprises. Longtime GH enthusiasts know that Joe's track record with Rocco has been a roller coaster of good intentions gone airy. And this current crisis marks yet another perilous drop. Recall the chaotic beach party last summer where Rocco, still navigating the turbulent waters of adolescence, overindulged in alcohol under Joe's watchful but ultimately laxy. Joe, perhaps drawing from his own youthful indiscretions, dismissed the warning signs as mere teenage rebellion, insisting that Rocco just needed rest to shake off the haze. What he couldn't foresee was the rapid descent into alcohol poisoning, a life-threatening emergency that sent Rocco to the hospital in a blur of sirens and parental panic. Dante, arriving in a storm of fury, unleashed a torrent of blame on Joe, accusing him of negligence that could have cost his brother's life. That confrontation wasn't just words. It was a raw exposure of Dandy's deepest fears as a father, one who has already battled his own demons in poor Charles' unforgiving landscape. Now, as history threatens to repeat itself with even graver stakes, Joe stands on the precipice of losing not only Danny's trust, but also the brotherly connection he cherishes. This recurring pattern isn't mere coincidence. It's a testament to the Falconeri men's shared vulnerabilities where protectiveness often morphs into isolation, highlighting the soap's timeless exploration of familial redemption amid chaos. The budding father-son dynamic between Dante and Joe, once a glimmer of hope amid the Quartermain entanglements, now hangs by a thread as Joe's latest lapse threatens to unravel it entirely. Dante had watched with quiet pride as Joe stepped into the role of Ned Quartermain's steadfast ally, handling high-stakes business dealings with a maturity that echoed Danny's own detective prowess. This alliance wasn't superficial. It represented Joe's evolution from a wayward newcomer to a reliable pillar in the Quarter Empire, fostering conversations over late-night coffees where Dante shared stories of his own early career struggles. Fans could sense the Warren building, a rare positive arc in Port Charles' web of deceit, suggesting that perhaps Joe could bridge the generational gaps that have long plagued the Falconeri line. Yet, this fragile progress is poised for demolition the moment Joe's confession spills out, revealing his pivotal role in orchestrating a dangerous escapade. The irony stings. Joe's attempt to prove his responsibility has backfired spectacularly, underscoring how good intentions in GH often paved the road to dramatic downfall. As Dante processes this betrayal, it may force him to reevaluate every interaction, questioning whether Joe's involvement in the family orbit does more harm than good. A narrative thread that delves deep into themes of trust and the perils of overreaching ambition. Kicking off the pivotal week of November to St, Joe's moment of truth arrives in a tense exchange with Brooklyn Quartermain, where he lays bare his culpability in the infamous lab break-in that has rocked the Scorpio Drake household. While Emma's Scorpio Drake's impulsive energy certainly fueled the fire, her sharp wit and unyielding curiosity turning a simple plan into a high-wire act, Joe steps forward as the reluctant mastermind, owning the cascade of errors that followed. He never should have looped in Rocco or the other impressionable teens, pulling Danny Morgan with his street-smart edge home. From Morgan family legacies and Charlotte Casadini, whose royal poise masks a rebellious streak, was a recipe for disaster waiting to ignite. This wasn't a calculated heist but a misguided bid for justice inspired by Whispers of corporate wrongdoing at the lab. Yet it spiraled into shattered glass, blaring alarms, and a trail of evidence pointing straight back to the Falconer brothers. Joe's admission to Brooklyn isn't just confession. It's laced with vivid remorse as he recounts the late-night scheming sessions in dimly lit corners of the Quarter mansion where youthful bravado overshadowed common sense, adding layers to this drama. One could imagine the ethical dilemmas Joe wrestled with. Loyalty to friends versus the safety of family. A classic GH conundrum that amplifies the stakes and invites viewers to ponder the blurred lines between right and wrong in a world of elite intrigue. Even in hindsight, Joe couldn't have predicted the catastrophic ripple effects that ensnared Rocco in ways far beyond a simple key for retrieval. Emma and Joe's original scheme was laser-focused. Snag the device during a routine distraction at the lab's perimeter. A quick in and out to expose potential cover-ups without drawing blood. But Rocco, fueled by a mix of sibling rivalry and thrill-seeking adrenaline, escalated the operation, convincing Danny and Charlotte to breach the inner sanctum where security protocols at Darker Secrets prototype serums tied to ELQ's shadowy research. The fallout was swift and merciless. Rocco RES loomed like a storm cloud. His school reputation tarnished and the Falconeri name dragged through Port Charles' gossip mill once more. Joe's regret as he unburdens it to Brooklyn carries the weight of unintended consequences, perhaps evoking flashbacks to his own isolated youth before joining the Falconeri fold. This twist adds psychological depth. Analyzing how peer pressure in GH's teen circles often mirrors adult power plays, turning innocent kids into unwitting pawns in larger games. Yet, amid the chaos, glimmers of growth emerge. Joe's willingness to confess signals a turning point, challenging him to rebuild from the ashes of his misjudgment. As Joe pours out his soul to Brooklyn in a heartfelt tear-streaked dialogue, the plot thickens with Dante's untimely entrance, catching fragments of the truth that ignite his simmering rage. Brooklyn, ever the mediator with her quartermain diplomacy and heartfelt loyalty, might leap to Joe's defense, painting a nuanced picture of shared blame and youthful folly to temper Danny's wrath. She could highlight Joe's recent contributions to the family business, reminding Dante of the violin prodigy turned ally who brought melody to their discord, or even invoke her own past mistakes to humanize the situation. However, Danny's current mindset, clouded by paternal anxiety over Rocco's entanglement, leaves little room for nuance. He's a man on a mission, seeking a scapegoat to shield his vulnerable son from further harm. This confrontation scene promises fireworks. Danny's detective instincts kicking in, piecing together clues with laser precision, while Joe stammers explanations laced with sincerity. The emotional layer in. Here is GH at its finest, dissecting how anger in Port Charles often stems from love's fierce underbelly, forcing characters to navigate forgiveness or forge ahead in isolation. With Joe's prior blunder still fresh and this lab fiasco amplifying the risks, Danny's patience may snap, leading to a sternal ultimatum that echoes through the Falconeri household like a thunderclap. Drawing parallels to Drew Kane's no-nonsense approach in protecting his loved ones from toxic influences, Dante could decree a strict no-contact edict, barring Joe from Rocco school events, family dinners, or even casual park encounters. No legal paperwork needed, just the weight of a father's authoritative word, backed by the unspoken threat of deeper repercussions if defied. Dandy's rationale would be ironclad in his mind. Joe's orbit seems to magnetize trouble for Rocco. From beachside perils to corporate espionage, potentially steering the younger Falconer toward a path of recklessness that Dante knows all too well from his own history. This ban isn't punitive for its own sake. It's a desperate bit to safeguard Rocco's future, perhaps involving heartfelt talks with Olivia about balancing discipline with compassion. Viewers might speculate on the long-term fallout. Could this isolation push Joe toward darker alliances like deeper ties with the Cassadinis or force a redemptive arc where he proves his worth from afar? The analysis reveals GH's mastery in portraying parental ultimatums as double-edged swords, cutting ties to heal wounds, but risking deeper scars in the process. In this riveting chapter of General Hospital, Joe's potential exile from Rocco's world underscores the soap's enduring focus on fractured families seeking mending, with Dandy's tough love poised to reshape their destiny as poor Charles buzzes with whispers of accountability and atonement. Fans are left anticipating the raw exchanges that will define loyalties and test unbreakable bonds. Next, we will learn about the intense fan reactions to Drew Kane's storyline and how it's personally impacting actor Cameron Matt and his family in unexpected ways. In the high-stakes world of General Hospital, few characters evoke as much passion and division as Drew Kane, the once noble congressman who's morphed into a shadowy figure of betrayal and ruthless ambition portrayed by the charismatic Cameron Matt. Drew's recent arcs have seen him entangled in web of corporate espionage, fractured family loyalties, and moral dilemmas that leave viewers questioning his every move, from sabotaging key alliances in Port Charles to making heart-wrenching choices that alienate even his closest allies like his brother Jason Morgan. This evolution has turned Drew into a polarizing anti-hero, with fans debating endlessly on forums about whether his descent into villain stems from deep-seated trauma or sheer opportunism. Matt's nuanced performance, blending subtle vulnerability with calculated menace, amplifies the drama, making Drew's darker moments like his clandestine meetings in dimly lit boardrooms or his icy confrontations at the Quartermain mansion truly unforgettable. Yet, while the character's villainous streak fuels gripping episodes, it has ignited a firestorm of emotions among the audience. Some cheering his bold tactics, while others decry him as irredeemable. This fervor, however, often blurs the line between fiction and reality, spilling over into personal territory for the actors who bring these stories to life. Cameron Matt, known for his warm smile and engaging presence both on screen and off, stands in stark contrast to the brooding Drew he embodies each day on the set. Off-camera, Matt is a devoted family man, an avid fitness enthusiast who shares glimpses of his wholesome life through motivational posts and charity events. Far removed from the cutthroat schemes his character plots, his journey on General Hospital has been a highlight of his career, allowing him to explore complex roles that challenge him emotionally and professionally. But it comes with the unintended side effect of fan backlash. Lately, as Drew's storyline intensifies with plot twists involving high-profile betrayals and romantic entanglements that shake the core of Port Charles society, some viewers have taken their disdain for the character to extremes. Social media threads explode with heated critiques, memes mocking Drew's decisions, and even direct messages laced with vitriol not just aimed at the fictional congressman, but at Matt himself. This confusion between role and reality isn't new to soap operas where immersive storytelling fosters deep attachments. But in the age of instant online feedback, it escalates quickly, turning casual commentary into personal attacks that echo far beyond the screen. The ripple effects of this fan passion have now reached into Matt's home life, touching the heart of his young daughter, Leela, in a poignant reminder of the human cost behind the glamour of daytime TV. Leela, with her innocent curiosity about her father's work, recently stumbled upon a fan-made YouTube compilation that pieced together Drew Kane's most sinister scenes, clips of tense interrogations, shadowy alliances with figures like Valentine Casadini, and moments of raw emotional turmoil that showcase the character's fractured psyche. What started as a simple exploration of Dad's job quickly turned distressing for the young girl who watched in wide-eyed confusion as the on-screen Drew schemed against loved ones. and face the consequences of his ambition in explosive confrontations. But the real blow came not from the dramatic plots themselves, but from the accompanying comment sections, flooded with aggressive rants, calling Matt everything from heartless to despicable. Words that blurred the lines so much that Leela couldn't separate the actor from the role. Overwhelmed by the negativity, she reached out via FaceTime, her voice trembling as she sought reassurance, turning a routine check-in into an emotional conversation about the difference between pretend and real life. This incident highlights a broader issue in fan culture. How unfiltered online discourse can unintentionally harm the families of performers, especially children who idolize their parents' talents without grasping the performative nature of entertainment. Taking to Instagram with vulnerability and grace, Matt shared a screen-recorded snippet of that very FaceTime call, offering fans a raw glimpse into the challenges of balancing a demanding career with family. The post, timestamped late one evening after a long day of filming, captured Leela's expressive face on the small screen. Her initial worry evident even without audio as she processed the harsh words swirling around her father's portrayal. In a thoughtful voiceover added to the silent video, Matt recounted the moment. Leela faced me right after diving into this YouTube video that strung together some of Drew Kane's greatest, most controversial scenes from General Hospital, like the ones where he's cutting ties with old friends or diving head first into risky power plays that could unravel everything in Port Charles. He paused, his tone gentle yet firm, explaining how her initial shock at Drew's villainous actions gave way to deeper concern upon scrolling through the venomous comments below, filled with personal jabs that made her question if people truly hated her dad. She had to call and hash it out just to hear from me that it's all part of the story. He continued, emphasizing the innocence of her perspective amid the adult world's intensity. By sharing this, Matt not only humanized the experience, but also weighed in details about the compilation's content. Specific episodes where Drew's moral compass wavers during heated metro court showdowns or private quarter-main estate dealings, showing how layered the character's arc truly is, even as it invites misdirected eye. The caption accompanying the post served as a heartfelt plea for empathy, urging the General Hospital community to pause before posting. Leela reached out after that compilation hit her hard, Matt wrote, detailing how the video's dark montage transitioned into a barrage of hate-filled responses that left her unsettled. He elaborated on the emotional toll, noting how reading those aggressive threads brimming with calls for Drew's exit or attacks on Matt's acting choices pushed Leela to seek comfort. Her small voice cutting through the digital noise with genuine worry. It's a tough lesson for her, seeing how words online can sting. But she's learning that stories like this are crafted to provoke feelings, not reflect reality, he added, tying it back to the soap's tradition of bold narratives that explore redemption and ruin. Ending on an uplifting note, the caption read, "Just a gentle reminder, folks, when you're firing off those comments on social media, remember we're real people with kids like Leela, families who cheer us on, and friends who keep us grounded. It's all just a character. I'm pouring my heart into the role because I love what I do, and I'm endlessly thankful for the love that's outweighed the noise over the years. Let's keep the passion for the show alive without crossing into personal territory. After all, Port drama stays in Port Charles." This message resonated widely, sparking supportive replies from fellow fans who shared their own stories of separating fiction from fact. Matt's voiceover in the Instagram reel expanded on the conversation's nuances, providing a narrative bridge for viewers who miss the original audio due to recording glitches. Speaking directly to the camera with his signature calm demeanor, he revisited the FaceTime setup. Leela on one end, perhaps curled up in her room, with the tablet glowing, reliving those pivotal scenes where Drew navigates betrayals that echo real-life ethical quandaries in politics and business. She was really thrown by how low Drew sinks In those moments, the calculated risks, the fallout with characters like Carly or Nina that ripple through the whole town, he narrated, adding depth by referencing specific plot threads such as Drew's involvement in media scandals or family inheritance battles that heighten the stakes. The escalation came from the comments, he explained, where fans vented frustrations with phrases that felt all too personal, prompting Leela's urgent call for clarity. We talked it through, laughing a bit at the over-the-top reactions while I explained how makeup, lighting, and script magic turned me into this complex guy on screen, Matt shared, underscoring his gratitude for the role that challenges him daily. He wrapped up with broader reflections. I adore bringing Drew to life. It's rewarding to tackle his layers. From vulnerability to villain, and the support from you all has been incredible. Carrying me through tough shoots and fan conventions. But sharing this is my way of saying, let's celebrate the storytelling without forgetting the people behind it. There are little ones watching, learning from how we engage. This incident sheds light on the double-edged sword of soap opera fandom, where immersive tales like General Hospital's filled with twists involving enduring loves, shocking revelations, and character growth thrive on emotional investment but risk emotional overflow. Matt's openness invites a deeper appreciation for the craft, reminding enthusiasts that actors like him invest personally in roles that mirror life's complexities. From Drew's congressional power struggles to his quest for identity amid twin brother drama. By addressing the issue head-on, he's fostering a more mindful community. One that cheers the on-screen chaos while respecting the off-screen lives. As General Hospital continues to weave its intricate plots, moments like this reinforce why the show endures. It connects us through shared stories, but with a call to kindness that keeps the real world in harmony. Stay tuned for more spoilers and insights right here on the channel. Your passion makes this journey epic.